Good morning, friends. Today we'll be having a talk on a sex linked inheritance. In our previous talk, we tried to discuss the determination of a sex, how the male and the female gender are determined or controlled by the pair of a chromosomes. In that, when the gender is female, it consists of a double X chromosomes, while when it is a male, then we find X as well as Y chromosomes, or these chromosomes are a controller or responsible for the male gender or to make a gender as a male. Well, friends, while discussing on the humans chromosomes pattern, we see that inheritance pattern. What is the inheritance pattern? It is a manner in which particular genetic character or genetics disorder is passed from one generation to the another one. As we think about the characters or the manners of a genetic link is passed to the next progeny, in the same way the disorder of the genes or the chromosomes are too passed in the next progeny. Well, for example, if a hereditary diseased gene is recessive in a parent, maybe mother or father, such a gene or disease susceptible genes is passed to the next generation. In that case, humans shows the 23 pair of the chromosomes. Well, 22 are autosomes, and autosomes are to be called as the non-sex linked chromosomes, and the 23rd one, that is X and Y, these are the pair of X and Y, they are sex linked chromosomes. Sometimes it has been mitochondrial inheritance too. Of these 23 chromosomes, X and Y chromosomes are the sex chromosomes, and 22 are the autosomes. Well, while pointing out this linked inheritance, genes involved are located on either the X or on the Y chromosomes. Females, as usually, are homozygous because they contain the same chromosome, that is double X, whereas the female shows the heterozygous because heterozygous for genes carried on the X chromosomes. Male can be only hemizygous, female have only X chromosomes. Males have both X and Y chromosomes, and females have only the X chromosome, that is the double X chromosomes. There are two types of inheritance: X linked inheritance, that is dominant inheritance, and recessive inheritance. And the second one is Y linked inheritance. So, in X linked dominant inheritance, we look out that the dominant gene is carried on the X gene. Males get their X chromosomes from their mother. Females get their X chromosomes from both their parents. Look out at this. The male, the only one, will get the X chromosome from its mother, and the female one will get the X chromosome from both mother and the father. While best example is the Fragile syndrome and incontinentia pigmenti. So example, if a mother is carrier of the mutated gene, 50% of the son or daughter will be affected. 50% of the son or daughter will be normal. If father is carrier of the mutated gene, 100% of his daughter will have disorder. 0% of his son will have disorder. If both parents are a carrier of the mutated gene, 100% of his daughter will have disorder, 50% of his son will have a disorder, 50% of his son will be affected or normal. So we'll repeat this pattern once again. If a mother, in this case, is a carrier of the disordered genes or mutated genes, then the expected progeny is 50% of the son or daughter will be affected, and the 50% of the son or daughter will be normal. But when the mother is the only carrier of the mutated gene, in this case father is normal and mother is only the carrier. Now we look at the next example. In this case, the father is carrier of the mutated gene and the mother is a normal. If the father is carrier of the mutated gene, the 100% of his daughter will have disorder. Means in this case, female will have a disorder, and his son, 0% of his son will have a disorder. Means son will not have any disorder. If both parents are a carrier of the mutated gene. If both parents are a carrier of the mutated gene, 100% of his daughter will have disorder, and 50% of his son will have disorder, and 50% of this son will be affected normally. So patterns of inheritance, we'll look out at this slide, and in this PPT you can clearly identify that the affected person is shown in somewhat gray pattern, sorry, and unaffected in a dull yellowish type little burst. So look out at the very first figure of the X-linked dominant male and affected mother. So what will be the expected progeny from this? So unaffected father and the affected mother. So you can see the chromosomes of the father, that is the XY, and chromosomes of a mother, that is the XX, and the colors that are denoted in these chromosomes are of the genes. So friends, when these two fertilize, what progenies are expected? So what will be the expected progeny. So look out at this. We got the four progeny. When the mother is affected, when the mother is affected, ultimately the son will be affected and the daughter also will be affected. But when the father is normal and mother is affected, then the son will be unaffected and the daughter will be affected. So on the next one, that is the X-linked dominant one. Now what is the dominant one here? The dominant one is the affected one is the male and unaffected one is the female. In that case, in that case, when the father is affected, so we get that the both the daughters are affected and the son are unaffected. So look out at this pattern. In this case, what we see, when the father is unaffected and mother is a affected one, then 50% of the ratio, that is the daughter will be also affected and the son will also be affected. But in a condition that when the father is affected and mother is not affected, in that case we see both the daughters are only affected but the sons are not affected. So this is the patterns of inheritance. So Fragile X syndrome, it is a genetic condition involving changes in a part of the X chromosome, most common form of inherited intellectual disability in boys. Fragile X syndrome. So causes by gene called FMR1. Boys and girls both are affected, but boys have only one X chromosome, so they affected more one. So Fragile X syndrome is associated with the most common with the intellectual disability in the boys. So friends, what are the symptoms? That are the flat feet, large body size, long face and soft skin. Test in female, excess of shyness may be the only sign, only the disorder. Genetic testing. Other names: Martin-Bell syndrome and Marker X syndrome. So these are the dominant one syndromes which are seen in this. So friends, we have been discussed about the linked inheritance, and we'll be going to look out all the examples of the Drosophila and the eye color and many more of this linked inheritance. Well, friends, this video or the PPTs are taken from the slideshare.com, and you please take down. We don't have any authority on this, so you can take down only the notes from the purpose. You can write down it and you can read out it. So please refer it. If you have any questions, try to contact me on my cell phone and WhatsApp. Thank you.